Hello people, I haven't made a video in a while. I've been kind of busy doing other stuff, but recently a friend of mine said she bought her husband a whole bunch of gold panning stuff and junk, and I thought I'd go over some of the stuff I've been doing as I've been keeping that kind of secret. Maybe it'll give you guys some ideas if you're just starting out or what you might need or what you're going to do. I'll take you through panning, stuff to look out for like mercury and other yucky stuff. Just some real basic stuff to get you started so you can go out and go find you some shiny stuff. Okay, where do I start? Lots to show you. As you can see, here's an assortment of junk out here in the messy garage. You'll have to excuse me because I'm kind of gimping around. I hurt my ankle wrestling with Joe. Anyway, something that I think everybody should start out with is pans. You need pans. I got these at an Army-Navy store. They were $2, and $1.50. I have two of the greens, one of the blue. The reason they're different colors is it stands out better. Okay, basic deal. The ribs and the pour outs, I'll get to that. Something else you're going to want, you might be asking what that is. That's a rock washer, but I'll get to that. This thing you kind of need. This is you know those party tubs you go put your drinks in and stuff for your friends to have? Well, I kind of welded over where the handholds were. This was $2. And then I sprayed the inside with black paint so when I'm washing out my concentrate, and if you don't know what concentrate is, I'll get to that too. But while you're washing it, at least it's not going back into the river. It falls down into the bottom of your collector. So this is your clean one. You can use a 5-gallon bucket. Joe likes using a 5-gallon bucket. I, however, like using this. Something over here you should see is another. This was my first rock washer. You put it on. It was to be on this, and then you'd fill it full of water and shake your rocks around to clean them. But then I came up with this. Joey and I made this thing. And you dump all your rocks and dirt in this, and then just drop it down in your full bucket of water, and you shake it back and forth, and it cleans all your rocks off. All the heavy stuff falls down, minus the rocks. You pull it out, check for gold, and you dump it out. Cheap. You can get this. I got all the materials at Home Depot to make that. The screen material is really cheap. There's also this screen material. I'll show you what that's for, and then there's some of the other. You want to try it. This is like 1/4-inch hole. That's 3/8, and then you want to go to 8. So I doubled it up using a crosshatch kind of pattern. I don't know if that shows up, but it catches real tiny little rocks, and that helps. You don't want them in your pan. Onto the sluice. If you have a sluice box, it's cool. This one I call Old Sleucing. This is the first one I made. This is an oil drip pan. $8. Scrap fence board, nothing. Stuff off an old screen door, security door, and then this angle iron with the 1/4-inch screen. You slide your miner's moss or an old piece of carpet, something underneath. As the gold sinks, it'll hit this and not go into the waterbed. This one's kind of big though, and I like making them out of metal versus the plastic because the plastic tends to float in the water. Now I made another one. I don't know if I can get to it. And let me see, there it is. It's Lucy Jr. I'll try to get it out with some light. Gotta drag you out here, Lucy Jr. Now again, the base is made out of this thing. Okay, and this one's going to be kind of hard to see because it's black, and I got miner's moss in there. But I made everything. It comes apart and folds up so it can fit in a backpack. Trust me, if somebody sees you carrying stuff down like this, they're going to be going to your spot all the time. These things are really good for just sitting in the river, letting material run over it. You can also wash your material and concentrate it down. By concentrate, I just mean simply you're getting all the junk out and only the heavy stuff sinks to the bottom. Okay, that's all concentrate is. And that's all panning is you're washing out all the light material and keeping all the heavy. But it does fall up, so you pull this out and then undo that, and it folds over and it fits in the backpack. That's why I didn't like Old Sleucing. It was a little too big. So let me quit talking because this is running on. Oh, one other thing. Couple things you're going to need. This is just one of these airbornes that are high in zinc that I take so I don't get sick, and I put a magnet inside it. okay? So when you're trying to separate the black sand, you drag this through your pan, and then you shake it off into another container. And you need to save that stuff, and I'll show you why. You need a spoon, some tweezers, as you do not want to put your hand in the pan at any time. Don't go around with your finger, and I'll explain that. A container to put gold in. Now this thing, it's for a pet. You go get them at your pet store to like blow out their ears or get between their toes with junk to flush them out. I cut the end off for sucking up fine. There are 3 distinctions in gold: load, placer, and fine. Getting fine gold out of your pan is a pain in the ass. It's not magnetic, so this is one of the best ways. You just and then shoot it into this guy. Alright, let me go over some panning tips. Okay, something else I failed to mention, you're going to need a bright light to see this stuff. So get you a drop light or sunlight or something. Now inside the pan I have small rocks and some concentrate. By concentrate I mean I already went through all this stuff, shook the crap out of it down at the waterway. Now using a pan, any kind of gold separating equipment mimics stuff that's in nature: waves, ripples, and washouts. Let me show you what I mean. First you're going to dip it in at a strong angle. You shake it. See this action right here? Jigga, 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 jigga. That's what you want. See how the top goes blonde? The blonde sand comes out? Now watch. You can wash it back. I wash down all the blonde sand and the fool's gold. The fool's gold, iron pyrite's going to go up to the top. Okay? And it'll also float in the water. You can see it kind of moving. The way you distinguish iron pyrite from gold is if you bend it and it breaks, it's pyrite. See how I washed it out? You can also use this technique. Again, you shake it till it blondes out, revealing the blonde sand, and you dip it in for a wave action and it washes it out. Now don't freak out like you're going to wash out chunks of gold. Even these little rocks will pop out because they're a lighter material. And when you shake it like this, it's already down at the bottom. You don't want to waste your time trying to separate all the perfectness out of it. It's just not going to happen. And another good reason for using the bucket: if you screw up, it falls in the bucket, not in the water. Now something you're going to want to watch for is mercury. If you notice the water lines here, my thumbs aren't getting in the water. And I'll show you when I get down to it. It's nasty stuff. That's why old miners would lose their hair and teeth. It wasn't because they weren't brushing their teeth, it's because they were playing in mercury. And keep shaking it. Now there might be gold in this, I don't know. I haven't checked this one. But it's the same technique over and over again. You shake, blonde it up, wash it out. Shake, blonde it up, wash it out. And eventually you start getting a concentrate. Now some sands and silicates are also heavy materials. If you don't know what those are, you might want to look them up online. Now you can do circular motions to get the rocks to move about. Now you see that black stuff sorting on the top? That's the mercury grabbing on to other diamagnetic elements. Magnets stick to like steel, other things. Well, mercury is an anti-magnet. It sticks to everything that isn't magnetic. So it grabs on to gold, silver, even some silicates. And you can see it starting to appear, the mercury. And watch this really good. I'll even knock out all these rocks to get it down. But again, it's always the shaking motion, back and forth. That's why guys made shakers or shaker sluice boxes, because they got tired of doing this. I have also seen guys put soapy water in this. The soap bubbles catch the light material and wash them out of the pan, but it's kind of hard to see what you got in the pan if you got a lot of soapy water in there. You're going to start seeing the silver stuff show up. The silver stuff is the mercury. Do not touch it. That's why you have your tweezers. Like to get the rock out, don't put your hand in there. Just grab it with the tweezers and pop it out. Trust me, you'll thank me. A lot of people that do this often we'll use latex gloves as not to be exposed to this nasty material. And as you can see, you just roll it back. See that shine in the pan there, headed towards the bottom? That's more mercury letting go. So you want to avoid that. But your gold will be down in the bottom of the pan along with all this junk. Something else, the magnet, get a little water in there so it's kind of dispersed and drag it around. It'll take out all your black sands, which are really heavy too. They're iron ferrite, in case you're wondering. See? Iron ferrite. And you shake this stuff out and keep it. I might have to do 2 of these videos to get all this out, but we'll get it done. They have these in shops where you push a button, but, you know, hey, it works. And it's cheap. Building the sluice boxes cost me 20 bucks each. You know, I can't make 5-gallon buckets, but they're cheap too. So I'm doing all this on the cheap. I'll give it a hard wash using wave action. See the wave come in and wash it out. Just want to get all of that junk material off. Don't be afraid to give it a hard wash. If you have gold, you'll see it. You'll be all, oh, gold! Just don't scream it. Now you can also do that same shake thing like that, and it draws all the lights forward and keeps the heavies back. And you keep washing it. But when you see that silvery, that isn't silver or platinum. It's just nasty, nasty mercury. I do this dip technique to get the lighter material out so I don't have to sit there and mess with it. And I draw it back. I mean, you'll get used to it, you'll figure out your hand, but that's what you want to work on perfecting, is cleaning out the lights from the heavies. And a lot of guys, they'll go through their clean out, this stuff down on the bottom several times to make sure they didn't miss anything. And oftentimes, you'll find that you left something behind in the bottom. And you let these ripples do their job. Let it be caught on there. I'm doing it kind of fast to prove a point, but you'll figure out the speed you need. Now, all of that right there is mercury trapped in sand. So there wasn't any gold in it, but that's... If you let it sit for a couple seconds, it'll start piling up at the surface. Ta-ding. And the more of it that accumulates, the bigger the pile is going to get. Like this one has nothing but it in it. Watch, I'll add a little water, stir it up, see it floating on the surface. You really, 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 really do not want to get that in your system. There's no way to get it out of you once it's in you. It's in there. See that? So don't mess with it. It's bad stuff. That's a little pan technique. Right. Another container. Got black sand in it. Alright, see? I'm going to shake it around in this light, see if any gold pops up. I thought I saw some in there. When you do that with the magnet, it makes all these hair fibers and it catches on to stuff. Okay? And sometimes it grabs on to gold. So you need a hard magnet. By a hard magnet, I mean a strong magnet, which that's what that is. And I shake it all down to one end of said cup. Okay? And get it all. Woo! Then I put it on the magnet, so it grabs hold of it, activates, and then you tip it down, and all the sand falls out of it. Like regular sand. See? And gold, also being non-magnetic, will fall out, so you want to keep it. Which I am. Plate. Let me do that real quick and I'll show you. You end up with stuff like this. I just use little plates to catch it, and then you can sort through it, see if there's gold in it or not. But it does get trapped in this stuff. And you just keep going over it or put it in your concentrators. Look on YouTube for, you know, green wheels or spinners, or these things join out called toilet flushers. You put it in, it spins the water around, and this gold will collect up in the center. They're pretty easy to make. We made one, but dude, when you got a pan and this other stuff, you don't really need all that other junk. You know what I mean? And just watch where you're going, whose land you're on, because they'll shoot you, man. Dude. Alright, people, there's one other thing I didn't mention. A metal detector. Now, if you don't have one, you're going to look up online, you're going to see they're expensive for the kind that you're going to want. I went to Radio Shack online and got one for $144, and it's discriminating. It'll tell you what it is and how deep it is. It's kind of what you want. For $144, it's waterproof too. So, get one of those. Otherwise, you're just kind of guessing. Ooh, I got the feeling. Don't go with the feeling. Go with the beep. And wear headphones with that too. You'll understand why a lot of people start hearing you going beep, 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 beep. But they come over and make friends with it. And you don't want friends when you're doing this. Just don't go alone. Okay, people? Anywhere you go for doing this kind of stuff, don't go alone. Take a buddy. And maybe a knife. They're creepy. I hope this stuff was helpful. If you got questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them. Till the next episode, people. Peace out, babies.